third episode of Afterthoughts, a series of vlogs in which I talk a few minutes about issues, difficulties and solutions, or just things that cross my mind minutes after making the recording, actual video music recording for YouTube. Tonight, and by the way, these videos will be released in the future 2 days after the music video. So every 1st, 10th and 20th of the month we have the music recording video, and then of course the 3rd, the 12th and the 22nd will be the place for the Afterthoughts vlogs. So we're having a chat tonight in candlelight. That's because we recorded in candlelight, obviously, and I realized when we began to record for the music video that it might be a little bit dark environment to talk, but it's cozy as well. So for tonight in this Afterthoughts, we talked about fingerings, one of the latest vlogs. We are number 3, so I think the first one, when we talked about some elements of the Prelude and Fugue of in A flat major of Bach, and we touched the subject of making fingerings or not, and what to do if you do. If you make fingerings, my opinion was that you have to stick with them, because in a concert the focus and the concentration is much bigger. So when you make fingerings, you will read them while playing a concert, a little bit nervous maybe, and so then you will play them as well. And if you're not familiar with the fingerings you made, or the fingerings that are printed in your score, you will actually, there's a danger or there's a risk that you will play them because of the higher level of concentration, and of course your motoric feeling is not used to that fingering and things go wrong. So in general, my approach is that I make fingerings of all the pieces I play. Certainly when I have to play in concert, I will seldomly play a piece without fingerings. It happens. Not with music of Bach, not with music of Mozart or Beethoven, of really complicated music. In this case, and that's the reason why I talk about it, in this particular piece I didn't make fingerings. There's a thing about making fingerings, you know, it takes time, and one of the next days or weeks I will just film. I will study a new piece of Bach, also a suggestion of recommendation, second book of the Waltz avec le Clavier, the A major Prelude and Fugue, and that's a piece that I've never played before. So I will make fingerings, and I think just filming that process completely, and I just put it online so you can see how I do it. For this piece I haven't made fingerings because it is music that can be played à vue, so sight reading, and that's of course a very important issue. By the way, music of Mozart, of Haydn isn't, and I'm not talking about the later sonatas, because things change end of the 80s. You know, when Mozart really starts to introduce polyphony, and its music is getting more complicated, and the same actually is to be seen with Haydn. And Beethoven, of course, his first sonatas, but later on they're not so easy to play just from without practicing. So à vue, it is possible, and it is a good exercise. Earlier Haydn sonatas and Mozart sonatas are easier to play à vue. With Bach it's complicated. Bach is polyphony, and there might be some musicians that can play a 4-voiced fugue of Bach just à vue, and really that's a gift, and you get an end with that. But certainly in polyphony I think you have to make very good fingerings. Having said this, it's not because you don't write your fingerings on the score that you haven't made a fingering, and let me explain that. If I start playing this piece, the same every time I play it. That's because the music has a structure that, how should I say that allows itself to be played without much preparation, but when playing it without writing a fingering, as I did now, I can feel the fingerings that the fingers I have to use. And that might sound a little complicated, but it isn't. When you write your fingerings on the score, then of course you read the fingerings as well together with the notes. That means that's a little help, that's a little tool for you just to help you play with the right fingerings, obviously. But when you haven't written the fingerings in the score, you can feel it as well, and you should. So playing without fingerings doesn't mean that you haven't got a fingering, you haven't got a plan, a structure to play from. And that's very important. The only thing is when you play in concert and you start doubting about something technically, then things can get complicated. And that's of course also a matter of getting used to playing concert for public, to gain a certain comfort in that. And when you reach that stage, that allows you really to play without fingerings. But I personally will seldomly do that. I prefer to be rather sure, and certainly for the music of Bach, I wouldn't recommend doing it. So that's about fingering. So there's not much to tell about because I haven't written fingerings on the score. I just wanted to touch upon a few elements, and this vlog is of course getting way too long, but one of the elements what I think might be interesting to some of you is the matter of polyphony, and it might sound strange because this piece has not much of polyphony, but still there is a sense of polyphonic feeling. For instance, in this phrase, you have the left hand with its Seufzer, and that's some. If you play things like this, it's very important that you release the note in the right way. I mean, if I make the left hand Seufzer, so the solution of too long, you have to listen what happens. The levels, the layers get flattened really. If I make it shorter, it is as if the spotlight changes constantly. And another thing is, if you have an accent like this A, that's, you should emphasize it by just having a little articulation. Listen. And there is a matter of timing, there's an element of timing in it. So the A, if you would have a computer play this, it would be very boring. So the accent and the emphasis over the bar structure, the really accent is made by this little articulations, little gap, and it's, you shouldn't do it, you should feel it, and it's a matter of I guess of practicing and a bit of experience maybe. And then you hear that you can wait a little bit longer on the accentuated note, and that's very nice. I will exaggerate now. But even when exaggerating, and stretching the note, you feel that the tension is still there. So it's a matter of just how much do you give. And that changes, of course. One day you feel like that, the other day like that, and you should see it in the context. And it continues. That's typically in good music. This is really, you know, to my taste, it's not music of the highest level, you know. I wouldn't exchange a Mozart sonata for this, but it's very, very nice to play. And you see that after these two sentences or two lines of this kind of polyphonic feeling, that with a little bit of emphasis and a little bit timing and a little bit, you know, stretch, there comes this relief of this contrast there. And then comes a few bars, and I just quit after that because it's getting way too long, but it's interesting actually. A few bars, and it's very tricky to accelerate in them, you know? And that's something that strikes me sometimes, that you hear performances which can be very beautiful, but where you have, or just that you have the feeling that you have to proceed, you have to have the tension over a certain number of bars just to reach the top note. And if you play it in this tempo, it's a very long way. Sorry. So the reaching the top can give you the feeling of the urge of just accelerating a little bit, or just choose a faster tempo that is. But in my opinion, you could turn it the other way around. We have talked about these polyphonic elements that gives a little tension, a little bit stretchy feeling. But if you come to this point and you just play it nicely in the bar structure, in the tempo, with a heavy and two light beats, for me it feels very nice to play like that. So you have this feeling of Jan. This feeling of a heavy beat and two light beats in the right way with the right accents is such a nice feeling that when the music comes on top, it's just everything you need. You could say that the foundations actually of the performance is in this heavy beat, light beat, light beat. Anyway, I thank you very much for listening and for watching. Thank you very much also for your subscription, and I hope we see each other back in the next Afterthoughts vlog. Thank you very much for watching, and see you later. Bye.